Hey, yo, what's good, ladies and gentlemen? Man, it is your man B Vaughan here tonight with another We Create Music TV interview segment. Tonight, oh my gosh, it's been some time since I had my man back on the show, and I'm glad that he's here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my man, artist and MC, and just an amazing person overall, Nashbi. Nashbi, what's good, man?
Yo, Brian, what's going on, boss? Yo, it's been a
Hey,
minute. Glad to be back. How are you?
oh man, I'm good. I'm good. Everything's great. Just just chilling. Been busy. Man, what
Yeah,
about yourself?
man, I've been good too, bro. Just life, a lot of great
Mm-hmm.
things, a lot of challenging things, transitional things, just trying to get through
Mm-hmm.
a lot of different shifts happening. So I've just been trying to hold on, keep my head focused and sharp and straight, and just like, really seeking God for guidance in this season, man, because
Mm-hmm.
step is like intricate right now, man. So
Mm.
I'm just trying to make sure I stay on top of things, and I'm rocking the merch. We got the merch that's coming out, so I'm
That's
excited.
right.
I'm gonna launch that store soon. So it's just a bunch of different things on the way, but I've been well overall. Thank God. Thank
That's
God.
Hey, thank God for that. But man, so for people who don't know who Nashby is, man, just kind of give us some historical background about yourself.
Well, for sure. Well, my name is Nashby. Once again, I'm an artist from Atlanta, Georgia. Artist and MC, but primarily a hip hop artist. Born and raised in Clayton County, Georgia. Went to school, high school, Elite Scholars Academy. Shout out to the South Side. Used to hang out with Mulatto by the bus stop type stuff, like old, like Clayco, South Side type things. And went to Georgia State University. Finished school, wasn't the college dropout. Definitely on some late registration graduation type in terms of finishing school. You know what I'm saying? Thank God. So I graduated back in 2020. And throughout my entire college career was the time I really took my music career serious as well. And simultaneously was going to school and pursuing the arts. And, it's just been this steady, consistent drive and steady, consistent
Mm-hmm.
workflow. And thank God, man, we're making it through. And so let me see. I'm Haitian American. Fun fact: Haitian American, born and raised here, but parents are from Haiti. Immigrated to Haiti. Are all happy. I don't want to. I don't know. I don't think they're dual citizens. I'm not sure. I wonder if they're dual citizens, but Haitian American nonetheless. I love my Haitians. I love Atlanta. I love the U.S. So we here.
Hey, yeah, man, that's what's up, brother. That's what's up. Hey, so for those who are watching now, will be watching in the future, I do have a question for you. I don't know if we ever talked about it, but how did you kind of balance that, right? How did you balance going to school and your music career? Because both of those cause for some real focused attention.
That's right. That's right, man. To be honest, bro, it was really God, man.
Mm,
Uh, and I really have to credit him for kind of giving me the gift of multitasking. It's something that I've always done. Like my schedule, I think one of my busiest schedules I ever had was, waking up. I had an internship at the Capitol, and so fun fact, I worked for the governor and the attorney general one spring and fall. And so during those days, I'd literally get up, and have to be at work at 8 a.m. Then they let me out at around noon, 1 o'clock, so I could go to class. So I'd be in class from like 2 to 3, 2 to 4, and then on those days go back to work from like 4 to 5, 4 to 6. And then after 6, if I had another class that day, I go back to class. If not, then I was an RA, so I was a residential assistant on campus. So with university housing and so forth, I had to go back and if I was on duty or meetings or whatever it was. And then after that, I still had to do homework. And then after that, I try to catch some times with my boys at Ice Pop, to hit the studio and write music. So it literally was this nonstop grind. But honestly, it was fun. It was just
mm,
I enjoyed all of it. So it being like interesting to me, it being fun to me, allowed me to truly like, just kind of let it all flow. And they were all just long days, but they didn't feel like I ain't gonna lie, let me not cap. It definitely felt like it was definitely a hustle. It definitely was a grind, but it didn't feel
mm,
like a struggle. It didn't feel like, oh, I gotta. It was like, yo, all right, cool. Finna get up, go to work, go to the second job, hit the studio. I would be like at my desk as an RA writing music on the computer at the computer desk. I would write on my
mm.
my notes. actually wrote After All. Wow, now that's a story. Look at God. I actually wrote After All, which is going like really good right now. It just hit about 20,000 plus streams on Spotify recently in the past month. And literally, I
Nice.
wrote that song at the governor's office. I was working at the governor's office desk, and I literally wrote After All and sent it to myself in the email. So I logged into my personal email and was like typing in the thread and literally emailed it to myself like, yo, this is a hit. And then I went to the studio. If not that same night, like the next night, and we got that thing out there. You know what I'm saying? So that was always moments like those are definitely priceless. But that's how I did it, man. I simultaneously would try to cross my worlds. You know, my worlds always crossed. And the reason, and some people might say, bro, you being fake humble, you keep crediting God for everything, you keep saying God, God, God. What are the practical steps you took? Well, I mentioned what I did
Mm.
practically already, but what I say is God is that also at the governor's office, I'll never forget, I get a phone call. Person says, hey, I'm putting on Georgia Production Day at the Capitol. We want to get the governor to come out. I'm like, oh wow, okay, yeah. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna try to have Gladys Knight there, Dallas Austin. We're gonna be honoring different artists and musicians and producers in the city. So we want him to come out and give a speech or give some form of thing. And it's like, by the way, there's a call center. I wasn't even working at the call center. My manager, my supervisor asked me, though I was working the front desk for the CFO's office, she still told me to plug in my headphones to be one of the recipients to assist with the call center. So I wasn't even at the call center. Neither was I even completely focused on the calls, but I was on the call that day. And we get hundreds, if not more, calls per day. What are the chances I got that phone call? And I went
Right.
ahead and you know what I'm saying? So I went ahead and had the courage and the faith to be like, yo, by the way, oh, that's awesome. Y'all do Georgia, Georgia Production Day. I'll try to see what I can do. And that's interesting. I'm actually an artist, so I make music. That's awesome. I just kind of threw that out there. And then Buddy was like, oh, you do? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, yo, so go ahead and here's my email. Send me some of your stuff. Like, I don't know. I'd love to hear what you got. And I was
Mm.
like, why not? Sure. And I'm sure at the time he was just like, we're trying to get the governor. This kid says he's an artist. Let's try to brush him up a little bit to see if he can work harder. I mean, that's what I'm assuming. I don't know if that was
Mm-hmm.
the process, but I'm thinking maybe that was part of it. And then Buddy hit me back, on my email, asked for my number, and was like, yo, kid, like you're actually dope. And not only do I want you, to try to still get the governor to come out, but even if the governor can't make it, I want you to perform. I want you to come out and perform for Georgia Production Day in front of all those people. And they actually weren't able to get the governor out, but the lieutenant governor was able to be present. Instead of Gladys Knight, Dallas Austin was honored. And it was just a nice, beautiful event. And I was like, bruh, how did I get as deep into politics as it can be? Don't forget, we're working in an all red, like completely red political sphere at that time, right?
Mm.
Governor Kemp was just elected. I was hired by Governor Dill's administration, watching the news to see who was going to be our next boss, and it ended up being, Governor Kemp. I told God whether it was Kemp or Stacey, I would have served faithfully, and Kemp won, and I was excited to serve under his administration. And like, I was just, and I know there's still conspiracy about that whole election thing, now being outside of it and looking back in hindsight, I don't have an opinion on it because I feel like there definitely should be more research done, for certain in terms of like before I even comment on anything, but just me serving there, I didn't notice anything that was like, off or whatever. But I have heard some things that people told me from their personal experiences, which I just figured some people might, want me to address that to some point. But anyway, yeah, man, just like the fact that I was in an office in that regard and still was drawn into the music, world, that was a calling. That was a calling. That's something that you can't really bet on. That's catching lightning in a
That's right.
bottle. That's something that's
That's right.
normal. That's a
You know,
long-winded answer to a
no, no,
short
no,
question.
no. I love how you broke it down between, uh, you know, understanding that there are practical steps that we as music creatives still take, but ultimately there are things that happen from a spiritual God perspective, right?
Mm,
And there are things that are truly God oriented, God driven type of situations that you find yourself into. Yeah, of course, we still have to go through those practical steps. We still got to do those things that we are ultimately responsible for. But as believers, we leave the door open so that God is able to still work in our lives and in what He has ordained and what He has ordered for us, right? So yeah,
Right.
don't give me the preaching. Like you and I, we up here preaching
Oh,
together,
man.
but
I'm
I
about to
mean, but
use organ.
get the
Use organ.
keys. But that's facts though. And sometimes a lot of people don't want to hear that side. It's like, yeah, yeah, you talk about God, 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 but it's like, no, seriously. Like you
Yeah.
find yourself in situations with opportunities and with people that you probably would not have, right? So speaking of that, I am very interested. So I am very interested in how the whole Russ thing came about. Like because that's the thing, right? Is that's a situation that I saw was a God oriented situation. However, it may have come about, right? How many people have a connection and is doing whatever you were doing with Russ at that particular moment, right?
Mhm.
So to me, when I saw that, I was like, look at that. I was like, look at God do his thing. He's opening up doors for Nashby to make headway in the field that he is in. So I'll let you talk about that if you want to shed any light on that. But yeah, I thought that was awesome.
Man, bruh, that's a great question, and you're absolutely right. And what's so crazy, that story at the governor's office. So the same guy who called was the same guy who booked me for Georgia Production Day. We
Mm,
met that day. At the performance, there was another gentleman who approached me and was like, I love what you do. I got things I'm working on. I'd love to stay in touch with you. We end up connecting. Turns out him and the guy who called me are friends. And then the guy literally one day just texted me and was like, hey, um, he's a funny individual. He was like, hey man, send the governor's limo and meet me at my production studio. I was like, okay, that's not a thing, but if you want to come and pick me up, then you can. And I was nervous, man. I only met the guy once. He's asking to pick me up during my lunch break, and something told me to go, and so I did. I had barely known the guy, and he took me to his production studio. It's MVP Studios. They have multiple locations
mm,
downtown. And MVP Studios, literally, they've hosted Spider-Man: Homecoming, Black Panther, Men in Black, not Men in
wow.
Black, Bad Boys, the newest Bad Boys
Mm,
movie. They did literally like a bunch of deals with Marvel, with everybody, and also Future, literally like a little baby. Like this guy, he'll to this day we're good friends now. He'll send me random pictures with James Harden, with little baby, with like a bunch of guys. And so it's just funny how that Providence works. Meeting them through the
mm,
governor's office, those are still two of some of my most favorite, like just natural music business connects because they're like friends, but they're, we also do business. And literally from there, I ended up reconnecting all on that same night. Remember the Grammys annual
mm,
party festivity? You
mm,
were there with your wife that night. Those two gentlemen were there that night as well. And so we just continued to stay connected. And one day I'm at the studio, I kid you not, and I'm so glad it happened the way it did. I'm in the studio with my boy Court, my producer Court, and Court is literally just we're talking, and if I'm not mistaken, I think we were talking about Russ. We were talking about Russ. We were talking about music. We were talking about just hip hop and the direction of my next move as an artist. And I kid you not, man, we literally, while we were speaking, I got a phone call, and he was like, "Yeah, yeah, Russ and Jackboy." And no, actually, which one did he say first? He said Jackboy and some other guy is are gonna be shooting at my venue tomorrow. Pull up if you're free. Just come through. I think it'll be cool. I told him about you, and I told him you're an awesome artist, and I just
mm,
think you need to be exposed to this kind of thing. And I think it's Russ. I've worked with Russ before. I think his name's Russ. He's coming tomorrow. Just be there. I'm literally sitting there like, uh-huh, all right, yep, sounds good. Hung up the phone. I'm looking at my producer. I'm like, dog, what just happened? Like, what just happened? Like,
mm,
and I just kept thinking, and mind you, once again, the random phone call led to all of these um
mm,
events leading up to that moment. He calls me. I'm like, yo, I dropped my schedule, cleared my schedule, went on set early. I'm there all day with Jackboy. Jackboy's an artist signed to Sniper Gang.
mm,
Even though him and Kodak are actually having beef right now, apparently. But they're also Haitian. And I was with him for most of the day. And then Russ came that evening. And man, and what's funny is I had just really like got heavy into Russ maybe like 6 months or 3 to 6 months prior to meeting him. Like I just had discovered him as a person first before an artist, just
Mm,
discovered him as an icon, and listened to his audiobook and just dive really deep into him and was like, yo, this dude's amazing. And so I got to meet him, and I literally went to approach his manager to say hello. And as I approached his manager, Russ obviously walking over to his manager, just introduced himself. Hi, I'm Russ. I'm like, dog, what's up, boy? Like, bro, you the OG, you the legend. Like, you didn't even have to introduce yourself, man. But that's how that happened, man. So I ended up meeting Russ in that
mm,
moment. Prior to that, we were able to just kind of be on set together. The official meeting happened. Then he had to go change and shoot another scene. After we shot those scenes, then I actually got to spend like the last like 30, 45 minutes of the night with Russ and the mentor who called me over to the studio. We were just
mm,
all just chilling in one big group. And it was a pretty awesome experience, man. It's a real experience because Russ is so down to earth. He's so real.
mm,
He's an awesome artist. It's so funny. I had heard a couple of his songs, but at that time, I was so in love with his message and his divine. Just I don't know. Just there was something there that he had that I felt like was for me in terms of information, knowledge, inspiration, and passion. And literally, I became a big fan of his music immediately after. I went back and listened to all his old stuff, and I was like, "Ain't no way this dude is this." Like nasty, like nice, like Russ.
right.
He's nice, man. He's
He's nice.
crazy.
He's nice with it. Yeah,
He
he's
is.
yeah, yeah. I mean, but that is what we talk about when we talk about the providence
Mm,
and the ordinance of God right there. It's like just
mm.
imagine how from that one conversation all of these doors opened up for you and all these connections were made and all your steps were ordered into those different directions, right? And so now you have these relationships with these individuals that you may not have had if maybe certain other circumstances transpired that the way that they did. But God is faithful,
That's
which I love, and He allows us as His people to be blessed in those different capacities. So, yeah, man, I thought that was awesome. So, but man, um,
that's right.
yeah. I thought that was awesome. So for me, listening to because I'm a fan of your music, right? I mean, Nashbi's the homie, right? But I'm a fan of Nashbi's music, like hands down, dope artist. See, Nashbi don't know. Let me tell you a little secret, right, real quick. Nashbi don't know. Well, I don't know if he was picking it up, um, but Nashbi and I had a text conversation one day, and I think you were in Virginia. You were in Virginia because I'm from Virginia. I think you were in Virginia Beach, and
Mm,
I asked this question, and I said, Nashville, I see things happening. I see you moving in spaces. Like, who's your manager? You remember that?
mm.
Remember that?
I think so.
I
Yeah,
was like,
too.
who's your manager? And you wrote back, you were like, honestly, bro, God's my manager. And I was like, I'm gonna leave it right there. Because what Nashville didn't know, I was gonna try to be like, hey, Nashville, let's kind of talk about, what your boy could step in
Mhm,
that role and see what he could do. But when
mhm,
you said God's my manager, I was like, yeah, that's probably the best management that you can get, uh,
mm.
even outside of what I could probably do. That is the best management. But I thought I'd share that with you. But like I said, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Nashby's music, who Nashby is, what he stands for, his beliefs. I love it. I love him as an individual and what he stands for, and what he does. Uh, but I know in your music, you describe yourself as a conscious mainstream artist. Like
Mm.
so, what does that mean, right? From that perspective, how would you describe a conscious mainstream artist?
I'll answer that question, but man, you just showed me so much love, bro. I can't just skip over that, bro. I really appreciate that
Oh
sincerely, man.
man, always.
Love and bro, you've been a big supporter and a big inspiration for me too, man, since the day we met in that writers room session and then at the Grammys and then just all in between. Even you giving me some advice when I was looking for cameras. Like, man, I really appreciate you. And dog, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of business for us to do
Oh
outside of
yeah,
this.
of
You know what I
course.
mean? So I know it's coming. These type of appointments are not
Mm,
coincidental. You know what I mean? And you definitely have that oil dripping on you, man. That
mm.
anointing. So it's like I really appreciate you. But yeah, I just had to make sure that was said, like,
Well, I
hands down
appreciate that.
For sure, for sure. Everything you're doing with this television series, bro. I've been keeping up with all the guests that you've had and all the people that you've been able to interview, and the consistency is there, man. And you're executing, you're doing it with excellence. And I know it's already taken you far, but I know it's going to take you even further.
Hmm. That's right.
So,
So
yes,
yeah,
sir.
I appreciate that.
Definitely, definitely. So, yeah, you said, what does conscious mainstream mean to me?
Yeah. Hmm.
Well, honestly, bro, it's literally like great music, but it's alive. It's great music, but it's a breathing, living, inspirational, thought-provoking, like just art. You know what I mean? It's because me and you talked about this on the first interview. I'll never forget, because it was the first time I was able to really articulate it in a sense. Was that how much of a spiritual experience music is? Period. That music is literally one of the closest evidence that we have to the unseen world, and to the spiritual world, and to honestly a substance of God, in a sense, where music is something that you can hear and it impacts you and it touches you, but you can't necessarily touch it, and you can't necessarily like, you can manipulate it to some sense, but it has a lot of impact on you, but you can't, it's in the air, just airwaves, sound waves, excuse me. And so literally, it's a breathing, like, just conscious. It's something that feeds the brain, feeds the heart, feeds the soul. But it's the type of music that, whether you're listening for the inspiration, or you're listening for the lyrics, or you're just listening because you just love the sound, you're going to be a fan of the music, because it's like, I see myself as an artist who can do a song with Kendrick Lamar, but I can also do a song with Ed Sheeran. I could do a song,
Hmm.
but I can also hop on a song with Imagine Dragons, and I can, hop on a song with NF and Eminem and Corday, but I can also hop on a song with Ariana Grande. Like, I feel like I call it mainstream because, the sound, is a sound that you could hear on radio, and that you can hear on some major playlists, and that you can soon hear, God willing, when we get our first movie, TV placement, film placement. Those are the different types of music you can hear in those fields. And so that's what I've called it. And it's been the thing I've gone with since, I'd say, high school. And it's the one thing from my high school season of Nashby that hasn't gone away yet.
Hmm.
So it's that's a beautiful thing, because oftentimes as you grow, you're like, man, that's cheesy, this cheesy. And who knows, maybe one day I'll step away from the conscious mainstream, but I think it's still kind of growing, and it still stays. Maybe we'll get a conscious mainstream,
Hey.
hoodie, you know.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's what that is, man. It literally is just, amazing music that you can listen to, but you don't have to worry about it degrading your soul or
Hmm.
influence spirit in a negative manner. But instead, you can always, count on it just feeding into your life. And every time you press play, you're getting a good, just vibe in that moment, but you're also feeding your soul.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the one thing that I love about your music is that, and I know we talked about this on the last show, was that your music is about healing, and your music helps people. And that's what I love about it. And so when the person's listening to it, they don't have to worry about, you degrading another person or a female, or talking about the same type of things that people are talking about, being in the club and, doing this type of illegal activity, or doing whatever the case is. It's something that's going to help you to grow, your spirit, and to uplift you. And it's not something that's going to kind of interject any of that negativity or toxic into your life. So
Mhm.
I can appreciate that as a fan of music, uh, that we need more of that, so that we can have that music that helps people to propel themselves towards greatness, versus to you know other stuff. But you know what I'm saying, like, I'm not knocking all of it. I mean, it has its, I want to say it has its place,
Mhm.
maybe. um, but it is what it is, right? That's kind of the culture of music and that we live in today. But there are very few artists who are putting out that type of music. Like today, right? You just talked about Kendrick. You said Kendrick. Today I just watched Heart Part Five.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I
Yeah.
just saw the visual today, and I was just like, man, that's why Kendrick is one of the the greats to do it. Like
Yeah.
it was just awesome
Right.
how he portrayed those different visuals, and he had that deep fake going on with all of the different faces of the people and the message that he was communicating through that. And for me, that's like your music, right? It's your music has a message to it that people can gravitate towards and can. Because I honestly, I listen to your music and I'm like that music is on that same level. Like it's
Mm.
easily on that same level. And we'll talk about it a little bit later. I got it right here on my notes. But when I heard All I Need, I would
Mm.
immediately, now you know Cole is a fan. We'll talk about Cole in a minute. I got on my notes. But I'm a huge J. Cole fan. And I
Mhm.
immediately got J. Cole vibes off of that song. Like it took me back to um dang, what's the name of the song? Um Dang, here we go. Right? Every time I try to use an example of something, the example leaves my head. Um,
It's all good.
Dang, what's the Cole song now?
You remember the
Oh my
album?
gosh. It's not on the album. That's the thing. At least I
Mm.
haven't found it on the album. Um, oh my
Is it?
gosh. It's it's not We All Gotta Die. That's not the name of the song. Um, Dad, come on, Ashby, help me out. It's not it's the one where he was driving in the back of the truck, the video when he was
Oh,
driving
it's
ah,
the Mr. Bonesucker is not herpes infested, but perfectly blessed with a
a style
style.
that you can't F with, protection recommended. Could cause the definition of a weapon that could end it. Yes, that
Yeah.
song. You know, mass destruction when I mash the button. Oh my gosh, that is my joint right there. But it
Yeah.
took me back to that same feel. That same
Mm.
feel when I heard that song is the same
Mm.
feel I got when I listened to All I Need. Now I want to talk about All I Need in just a little bit. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But
No.
I had the same vibe. It took me to that same place when I first heard
Mm.
that. You know what, Nashby? I can't do it, man. I can't
Mm.
do it. It's going to stick in my head. I don't normally do this, but it is going to kill me if I do not know what the name of that song is.
I think it was it Everybody Dies or
Everybody
Everybody.
Dies. No, you're right. It's Everybody Dies.
That's what
Yes.
it is.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
Everybody Dies. But yes, that's one of my favorite Cole songs right there. I mean, he was just
Yeah.
so. But anyway, but yeah, that's what I get when I get that feeling when I listen to your music, and for me, your
Mm.
music is on that level with the Cole and with the Kendrick. People just need to know Nashby, and as soon as they hear, they're gonna be like, "That's it. That's that's it. Nashby got it." You know. You know what I'm saying? I'm big in Nashby up, y'all. I know I only have it's not that I'm big in Nashby up. I mean, that's just the way it is. Right? Go check out his music for yourself, right? Right now he has almost 40,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. Speaking of that, like how did that happen? What what led to that? How did that growth explosion happen for you on Spotify like that?
Man, well, first, bro, praise God and thank you, bro. Like to just kind of list me on the same names as those
Oh
legends,
yeah.
bro. Is I mean, obviously, as the artist, when you making it, you kind of know, right? There's this like, yo, I know I'm there, but it's
That's
like,
right.
someone else is able to see that, and it's not like, nah, this son reaching. Like, no, you like, no, it brought me there to that same level. That's humbling, especially
That's right.
for Kendrick. And these guys are goat. And grew up listening to them. So but yes, the 40,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, that came about. So we talk about God's providence, right? And I know people who gonna come back listen to my interviews like, man, like this dude always gotta preach, but it's not really preaching, it's just real. Folks will sit here and tell you manifest, manifest, do a backflip, it's luck. It's the stars align and all these things, but it's like, yo, bro, God is making moves, man. He's the one who gives. If it like so let me just tell you what happened. So literally I'm about to release Chosen, and I felt something in me just roaring that was like the record has to come out. Like, many people don't notice, but I actually wrote the record at the end of last year. Well, and about August last year, I'd say I wrote the record. Probably recorded it in that same month, refined it throughout the next few months. And then when it was done, it was just kind of sitting on my drive because I was waiting to record it at Ice Pop Studios. I had mixed and mastered, a lot of my career, but I actually had stopped mixing and mastering for a very long time and just allowed my producers to do all my mixing and mastering. And so, though I had gotten chosen to a very nice sonically sound place, I wasn't confident enough that I was going to actually produce uh, like a really nice mix, you know what I mean? And
Mm.
so it was just kind of sitting there, and I felt something tell me like, "Yo, you need to put this out." And during that time, it was like it needs to come out now. So we went and shot the music video. I didn't spare on the budget. We shot, really dope at the barbershop. When I got my real haircut for the real video, we shot some scenes there. Then I also booked a black-owned studio called Agenda Studios in Atlanta. I have met the owner hooping with these CEOs who play basketball every
Mm.
Wednesday in there. And I was like, yo, let me go support you and invest in your business. So I shot at his studio, and shooting there was awesome. So I didn't like hold back on the budget. We did everything, got my guy quality. It was produced by my boy Poetic Jr. I had an interview on Friday. I forgot to shout him out. I can't forget to shout him out on We Create Music. I just can't. So shout out to Poetic Jr. He produced the beat. Ironically, Poetic actually sent me a Nashbi beat love pack,
Mm.
like probably a year before I even wrote it. So and that's why when Cole, ironically, we keep talking about Cole, and Cole was mentioning on um the off season how
Mm.
on one of the songs when it's like he's talking about his son, father, let go my hand, let go
Yep.
my hand record. And he talks about, yeah, I heard this beat, Eve showed it to me, and it didn't really hit me then, but it had to grow on me. That's what
Mm.
Chosen was for me. It's like I heard it and I was like, I know when I do this it's gonna be crazy, but I didn't have anything to go there with yet. And so literally writing the record, going through that whole process, I ended up putting the song out, and I did my part with trying to just get as much organic marketing as possible, right? Putting it up on my page, reaching out to different blogs and just kind of pitching them the story and try to, not just blogs, but actually IG pages, just trying to do some collaborations with them to promote the record. And, as much as I did that, it opened a door for a lot of fruit to flow in with social media. But obviously streams was a whole nother animal. So there were conversions, but some people were just satisfied with seeing the video on IG. And since they heard a lot of it, not everyone was led to go and find a YouTube video or add it on Spotify or Apple Music,
Mm.
whatever. But a lot of people did. And so that's happening, and then out of nowhere I get an email when I'm on a call with my assistant, and literally the song, I get an email and it literally says Chosen has been added to a new playlist. And I'm like, oh, whatever. You get like
Right.
emails
Mm-hmm.
all the time from like promoters, like marketing promoters, who are trying to tell you, yeah, we're trying to add you on our playlist, just approve us. And then you find out there's a fee, and then you find out it might be a scam, whatever. So I'm looking, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Then I open
Delete.
it, almost deleted it for real. And then like I looked and it says Spotify. I was like, let me check this email address. It's probably a fake Spotify email. And I was like, yo, this is the real Spotify. Then I went on my artist for Spotify page and was like, yo, they really added Chosen to this indie artist playlist with over 200,000 likes. And it was called
Wow.
Fresh. Yeah, man.
Hold on.
So
So
Fresh,
say that again. Say it again.
which part?
The name of it.
Fresh Finds. Fresh Finds. So it might still be on there. It's Fresh Finds. So every Wednesday they add new music, and it lowers my rating. I think the last time I checked, we probably had like 2 weeks left or 1 week left. So as of this week, it's either gone now, or this week might be the last week it's on there. But yeah, it was 200,000 likes on there, and literally it was just a bunch of indie artists that Spotify handpicked. Like, these guys are dope. They up next. Check them out. So I was just humbled. I was like, wow,
Nice.
what are the chances? Because I've been pitching a bunch of records to Spotify forever, and they never came through. And so I did all that I could with my resources, shot the video, recorded, split up content, turned the content into different reels, took
Mm-hmm.
the reels, and then, sent them out to different IG blogs, like mentioned before, those hip hop pages, trying to get some exposure. And that was turning really well. And in less than 30 days, we got like 1,000 new followers on Instagram, all organically. So we worked with those IG pages. They put out the content, and people were just gravitating, and all of them are reaching back out to me like, yo, we have never seen this kind of traction before on artist collaborated, IG posts. So that was the blessing that came from my obedience and, my hard work, and just having faith. But that Spotify thing, I had that, bro, you can't pay for that. If I call Spotify right now and I'm like, yo, I got 100 racks for you, come through and put my song on all the top playlists, you're gonna laugh just like you did. They're gonna laugh like you and say, we don't do that. Like, these playlists are selected first by algorithms, and after the algorithms, there's a person just like B Vaughan who's gonna listen and who's gonna be like, I like this, or no, I don't. And then B Vaughan literally handpicks the records that he wants. And so whoever's on that playlist will fresh tune it and refine it. So what's crazy is we get that placement, which is already a miracle. And then a week later, I'm on another call and I get another email. Congratulations, you've been added to another playlist. I'm like, what? I checked that one. It says you've been added to Energetic Hip Hop on Spotify. This playlist has over 600,000 likes. And on that one, I checked it because they told me they picked up God Given. I'm like, yo, God Given got picked up. God Given was released a year ago. They picked up God Given, and then literally after when I was checking to find where God Given was, I saw After All on there. And I was like, wait, what? So I got the email for God Given, but they didn't notify me. They put After All there first and then put God. And I only had the email for God Given. So not one, not two, but 3 of my records in a span of 2 weeks got placed on some of Spotify's major playlists. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Yo, man.
Yes.
Yo, God is good, bro. God is good. I gotta honor him because I can't make that up. I'd love to tell you, hey man, I did a backflip. I went and, marketed myself and all the big pieces in the industry. I went to events and did this and the third, met the right person, shook his hand, and told him about myself, and he put me on the playlist. I love to tell you I strategically made some special plan, but it's just false. Like God did that. All I did was pitch. But I pitched those records a long time ago. God Given, After All were pitched a year ago. You know what I'm saying? And right now with Chosen, just that was recently pitched. So for them to pick up Chosen and then pick up 2 other records, it's gonna make sense. And so, gradually, obviously, those playlists on Spotify are literally like modern radio
stations, of course.
Literally. So obviously that just, spiked up the streams. And last thing I'll say about this story, what makes it even crazier, the Energetic Hip Hop playlist, I was literally the only independent artist. Well, I was the only underground artist on that playlist. So literally it was Eminem, Jack Harlow, Big Sean, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Nashbi, 50 Cent, Nashbi, Jay-Z.
That's why I said Nashbi is at that level. People, you don't know, you don't realize it. Okay, you don't realize it, but Nashbi is at that level. The only thing that separates indie artists from major artists is what? What is the only thing that separates an indie artist and a major artist besides the money? Exposure. People know them. People know Eminem. People know Cole, Kendrick, 50. Right? They know these people because they were signed to major record labels and they had major distribution. They put out all these different albums. Right? That's it. The skill level of Nashbi is already there. That's not even the question. The time is coming for when the world's gonna know and hear Nashbi at that same level as an Eminem, a Dre, a Drake, whoever, right? A Kendrick, Cole, whatever. Because Nashbi already has the skill set at that level already. Like I'm telling y'all, go listen to this dude's raps, his rhymes, his flows, oh man. No, I'm gonna play one right now. I'm gonna play.
I'm humble, man.
Honestly, I got to figure out how to do that though. I got to figure out how to, because YouTube has content ID and all that stuff on it, and so I do want to find out how to kind of start playing videos and music on here. I did it once. No, I did it twice, where I actually played somebody's video that I was interviewing on the show. I think that would be a great thing to incorporate. Hey, you know what? Cool. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, we about to check out chosen right now. Boom, here we go. And then it just does its thing. But I don't know.
Facts.
I may incorporate that. But
Yeah.
so speaking of Big Sean,
Mm-hmm.
right? Speaking of Big Sean, what led to you opening up for Big Sean at the GMA's American Summer Stage in New York? How did that? All right, I'm always like just intrigued with how things happen for you. So speak about how that transpired and what led up to that.
Man, I will never be that's one of those earlier looks of Providence, man, because I'm in New York. I'm there for family. I'm at my cousin's, and I am literally bumping Big Sean's music so heavy in this season. And I believe I had just met him probably a couple months prior to. And so I'm in New York. I'm still just reflecting and working hard on music. I end up seeing a message or a post that says Big Sean is performing for Good Morning America. And there's a company called IOTA.com that gives like tickets to television events where you can pretty much just reserve it and get in for free. So you can get like tickets to like Wild and Out on there, different events, etc. I literally see it was they still had some tickets available. I went ahead and booked two and then called. I just wanted to go so bad. I booked two tickets, then called my cousin who has, man, shout out to Kingsley Joseph, Ken. That's my brother. He's believed in me since I was like, 12, rapping on my
Mm,
mom's laptop, holding it to my face, trying to, spit rhymes and then literally like take the records and mix them on in Audacity, trying my best to just
mm,
like he believed in me in those days. And so I'm with him. I'm like, bro, you got to come with me. Whatever you're doing, Big Sean, tomorrow morning, Good Morning America, we're there. He's like, all right, why not? Let's do it. So I go to his place. I'm with him that night. We're supposed to wake up early. You're supposed to get there at like 5, 6 a.m. We end up waking up at like 4:45, so we're late. You know what I'm saying? Technically, I'm trying to scramble and get my stuff together. What I'm gonna try to say to Big Sean if I get to meet him, what type of music I'll try to hand to him. Because when I had met him prior to, he was actually asking for my information, and I was writing it down. His security was like, "Yo, there's a threat in the area. I got to take Big Sean back to the tour bus. When I take him back, then I'll come back and get your information." He never came,
never
right?
did. Right.
So I was like, let me try to get to him what was never given and all this stuff. And so we hopped in an Uber, we head over there, we're late, it's already packed. And it's late in the point that it had not started yet, but everybody's
Mm,
there and it's first come, first serve with the seating. And so we're together. I must say, for the sake of true transparency and honesty, just so no one thinks I'm fluffing the story, my cousin is in a wheelchair. His story is powerful.
mm,
He got shot when he was in college for defending, a friend, and it was a bullet that almost took his life. He was able to
wow.
survive, and it's a beautiful, beautiful testimony. But my cousin has done in a wheelchair what so many have not done with 2 feet.
Mm,
He's a practicing medical professional, doing really well, has several degrees, and it's hilarious. And sometimes he's so powerful and so strong, you wouldn't even think he was. You sometimes I forget that he's paralyzed, and I believe in Jesus' name he'll walk again. But this guy is so powerful, I often forget that he was even ever, paralyzed. And so we're together, I'm rolling with him, and we're supposed to go through general admission. All of a sudden, he's like, yo, I see this VIP sign. Let's go. I'm like, dog, don't do this right now. I know he's a jokester. I'm like, bro, this is not the time to play. It's Good Morning America. They got security. They asking for tickets. He's like, bro, just come on, just shut up. Just follow me. I'm like, bro,
mm.
they're wilding. I'm going towards VIP, and there's a guy right there. He's like, all right, hold up. Give me, where's your tickets? I'm like, dang, I'm pulling out my ticket, knowing it's general admission, but I'm like taking it, trying to take my time, trying to get it out my back pocket. I know there's a IG reel TikTok sound right now that's like, it's hard to get out, and they start laughing. But it was kind of like that kind of moment, man. And while I was taking it out, there's another security detail behind him at the top of the hill that's like, yo, let them in, let them through. And it was like, huh? And like literally before I could show him our tickets, Buddy in the back is already signaling us. And I'm thinking, I'm looking behind us, like, who's he talking about? And literally, obviously, he was talking to us. and we end up getting past the security. And I tell you, man, we end up getting all the way. The guy who says let him through literally puts us front and center in the VIP section, moves everybody behind, places us in the front, gives us breakfast, umbrellas, serves us like, bro, when I tell you, so I'm literally getting front row seats to Big Sean and GMA, and it was just amazing. And so that was God's providence right there. But then it stopped because then Big Sean is about to get on TV, and he came out for sound check, but he's only doing sound check and then a live performance. So there's a big crowd there, but obviously it's not a concert, it's not a show. They have multiple performers. So the director who's live there is like, we got to keep the crowd entertained. So he just starts saying, are there any artists in the crowd? Are there any rappers, singers?
Yep.
So
that's right.
In my hand, there's a few other folks. Somebody else got up, and then I saw a cameraman in front of me. Thank God for that proximity. I tapped his shoulder. I'm like, yo, I'm an artist. You think they'll let me go through? He's like, let me see what I could do. And they went and talked to him, and they went and three people came up before me, and then I ended up going. And then, bro, like I spit this acapella monstrous 16. You might have been a 32. I spit that thing, and the crowd went wild. Like they went, when I say they went crazy, that was one of the key moments in my life that told me, look, these people woke up at 3 a.m. in the morning, got in their car to go see Big Sean. They're standing in the rain, waiting for Big Sean. Listen to them cheer for you. Listen to them scream for you. Like, I still have the footage from that. I'll never forget. My cousin took the footage for me. And bro, there was something in that moment that just felt divine. It was just like, yo, you have it. Like, whatever it is, like, you got it. I mean, some people had told me that. But in that moment, it was like I was convinced. I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be here. Like, this is literally a foreshadow for what is to come. And I was just so touched. And the crowd was just inspired. They gave me a standing ovation. I mean, it was just wild. They were just like, yo, we were just trying to find some random artist, and this kid from Atlanta,
a superstar showed up. Hey.
Yeah, man. So that's how that happened, brother. It was a blessing, crazy experience I'll never forget. But that was God, though. Like, you can't make that up, man.
That's right.
You really
can't make that up.
What's the chances I found the tickets on time? What are the chances they weren't sold out yet? Right? What are the chances that we showed up late? And what are the chances my cousin would have the audacity? Because some could say he was in a wheelchair. They won't put him there anyway. He would have went to general admission, and they probably would have had a general admission wheelchair seat.
Right.
But he had the go to VIP. And what are the chances God would have told that dude behind the other dude, yo,
let's go. Come on. That's right.
And he said it almost as if we were celebrities, and the dude didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, don't bother them. Come on, let them through. Like, that's what such and such.
That's right. It's the preview. It's the preview. That's what it is. It's the preview. You know what I'm saying? Like,
crazy.
I love it. I love it. I love it because it is the preview of what's to come. Right. And so you talk about hope, right? What's hope? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about faith and hope, it's coming. Nashbi is coming. And you are preparing yourself already to be in those spaces. I can't tell you when. I'm not a prophet, right? So I can't tell you when, but it will come, right? I mean, you're still a young man. It will come, and when it comes, you're already gonna be ready to walk in that space. I mean, and it'll be just like you can walk right into it. As has already been prepared for you. You can walk right into that space. I'm just waiting for the day when that happens. I'm hoping that there's something that I could be at in some way where I can see that take place, or I can be a part of that, or whatever the case is. I'm like, man, that's my man Nashbi right there. Like, I can already feel it. I can already tell. But it's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. Okay, so let's talk about it, right? Here we go. Let's talk about the Cole. Yep. Let's talk about the Cole interaction and what happened, what transpired, and what led from that, right? Because something happened after that, and you can talk about it because of, I know that, I'll let you talk about it. I'm not going to talk about. I'll let Nashby talk about
Got you. Well,
it.
hey man, just setting the record straight. Um, so here's the story. So and to give context, this is in the center of social media, obviously allowing artists to blow up for it, and that's actually been for a while now, but there was still this need, right, for a label, or still this aspiration where a lot of artists believe like, yo, you got to go meet somebody to get on. And so that was my biggest motivator for meeting all of my heroes. I really tried to do it because that's how I thought I was going to get on. Big Sean met Kanye, spit for Kanye. Kanye signed him 2-3 years later, but he still signed him, right? J. Cole waited in the rain for Jay-Z. Jay-Z said no in that moment. Jay-Z's boy loved Cole, resent his tape to Jay-Z, and Jay-Z signed Cole, first artist of the label. So many stories like that have always happened. Kendrick Lamar, Dr. Dre, all these different folks, Eminem, right? There's always, you meet somebody and then they put you on. And so that was my goal. I had made it my mission, in addition to writing music, putting on my own shows, performing and hosting, try to meet as many celebrities, or just some of the biggest muscles in the music business, to try to get to know them and try to like show them my gift and try to get discovered, right? And so by then I had met all of my heroes. For the most part, the last one I had not met yet was, and there's a few. I haven't met Kanye, I haven't met Eminem, I haven't met Kendrick. I made eye contact with Kendrick. I haven't met Kendrick yet though. And then at that time it was Cole. And so during that time, I literally was watching Boz. I had met Boz. Boz,
Mm.
obviously everyone, he's a little bit more mainstream now, going crazy. But Boz, literally, I've met Boz over 2 times now, and both interactions were very personal. And the first time he came to Georgia State University to open up for Lil Wayne, and after the show, he actually stood in the front and was like selling merch and like shaking hands, kissing babies, whatever. I'm
Mm.
like, oh my gosh, this is Boz the Genius in front of me, man. And so I'm a freshman in college. I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, bro, is he the GOAT? That's the GOAT. And so I go and walk over to Boz, and he's showing mad love. Tall dude. Dude was so tall. I was like, damn, I know he's that tall. Um,
Mm.
we were just vibing, connecting. And he literally sat me down, Vaughan, and literally gave me the game. He gave me the game. He showed
Mm.
me the like intricate things. He even discussed like how you can make a record deal work for you, like a bunch of different gems that he just shared with me.
Mm.
Like, wow. And I look back at my pictures on when that day happened. I still have the pics. If you go deep enough on the gram, you'll see it. I look so young and I look like a child, and I darn sure don't look like an artist. But Boz literally, like, still for some weird reason, sat me down, talked with me, gave me his time. It was, I kid you not, it was like 30 minutes of this guy giving me game in the industry. And it was just ridiculous. And then when he did that, we left. On our way out, we ended up leaving at the same time as him. I saw him in the street again, and I was like, yo, let me spit for you. So I spit for Boz, and Boz gave me this warm, like, yo, kid, you're fired. You know what I'm saying? And that was just, that warmed my heart.
Mm.
And fast forward, I meet Boz again. He does another show a couple years later at the Masquerade. I meet him after the show. He remembered me. I was like, yo, you remember me, bro? He's like, bro, I clearly remember you. I'm like, no, you just saying that. He's like, no, dog, I remember you. Georgia State, I was a kid. I was like, yo, Boz, the
That's
dope.
dope.
I love Boz, man. I ended up hearing about Revenge of the Dreamers. I think that was probably a year after that show, or maybe
Mm.
a month after that show. Revenge of the Dreamers, everybody's talking about it. These private Dreamville sessions,
That's
Revenge
right.
is coming. They're inviting all the biggest producers, artists in the world. I'm like, yo, this is my time. This is, I got to find a way to get into, the Revenge sessions. And
Mm.
so I'm literally watching Boz's story. And ironically, we talk about Big Sean. Big Sean had just released Double or Nothing and was doing an interview similar to this one, at Tree Sound Studios with Mitch.
Mm.
And I had seen the studio, and I seen Big Sean talking about the studio. When he did, I was like, yo, I gotta go visit that studio because Big Sean was there. You know what I'm saying? And obviously learning that obviously Jay-Z, Beyonce, so many goats had, recorded music there. So I've always wanted to go. I did my research on the studio. I see Boz, on his phone in the studio, and I'm like, yo, I recognize those speakers. Ain't no way. I'm like, is that Tree Sound Studios? And so I start looking, doing my research. I'm connecting the dots. I'm like, yo, it makes sense. Revenge of the Dreamers is at Tree Sound. And because obviously Cole did say, like, in the invitation, it said meet us in Atlanta, but you don't know where in Atlanta. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking, I know the in the city. I just don't know where. They said Atlanta. Obviously, Tree Sound is in Norcross, but still Atlanta, right? Um, but literally, so I see it and I was determined. The moment I figured it out, I was like, yo, this is Providence. This is divine. This is like supposed to happen. I ended up literally, I had a date with my girl that day. And I laugh at this story every time because I literally told my girl, babe, I know we got this date tomorrow night, but like I'm about to go meet J. Cole and meet the whole Dreamville team. They probably gonna sign me and ask me to be a part of the session and like chill and at least soak in and be a fly on the wall, if not hop on a record. So like, babe, let's meet up for brunch in the morning. And after brunch, I'm gonna go see Cole and I'll holler at you. Say I love you, babe. She's confused. She's like, what are you talking about? I don't get what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Because I love my girl to death, man. She really loves me for me. She loves me for me. And I gotta give her a shout out, man, because she's just an awesome person and she's not phased. She supports me, but she's not phased by any of the accomplishments I have, any materialistic things I've acquired, or any opportunities I've had. She's never seen them like, ooh, opportunity for her or anything. She's just sincerely happy for me. So in that moment, she's like, J. Cole, what? Like, we had our date, it just didn't bother her in that time. We have brunch. I leave her. I pull up to the studio. It's 2:45, I think, around the time I pulled up, maybe 2:40. I'm sitting in the parking lot. It's pretty empty. I think I saw a producer or two pull up, some other guys. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then all of a sudden, this red Lamborghini truck's pulling. Red Lamborghini truck pulls in. I'm like, yo, I wonder who this is. Probably Young Thug. It's probably, Gunna. I'm like, yo, this is probably one of the big ATO legends. Might have been T.I. I'm like, I don't know who pulling in a red Lambo truck. And they were just in the car for a minute, and they just were playing with the car, like struggling to park almost. Dang, that person's struggling with the Lambo truck. And I was just like, man. And while the person was doing a reverse, I saw a dreadlock. And I was like, ain't no way. And I looked, bro. I was like, yo, it's Cole. So I was like, bro, it's Jermaine. And I'm telling you, bro, it's literally like empty parking lot, maybe 2 cars plus mine. There's a red Lamborghini truck, struggling to park. I'm sitting there, Vaughan, and I'm at peace, bro. I'm literally like, it's time. Like, this is the guy, like Eminem ushered me into hip hop. Big Sean launched, inspired me to take this career serious. And J. Cole was my fuel and my just almost a unknown mentor that kind of trained me in the arts, in the martial arts of rhymes. Like, so I'm like, yo, I finally get to meet the sensei in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm being super corny right now. But anyway, I get to
No, you're good.
meet the mentor, man, the person who like, have been mentoring me from a distance. And I'm thinking it's going to be just like how I met, Big Sean. And it's going to be just like soon to be Russ and just like Boosie, even Boosie, man. I met Boosie, bro. And like Boosie was fresh out of jail. I was crazy for approaching him. He was at Lenox Mall. I approached Boosie like, yo, Boosie, how's it going? This is the third. He kind of gave me that Boosie look, that mean mug. Then he gave me a fist bump. Boom. And then walked off. So I'm like, yo, Cole definitely gonna ride with the boy because Cole is a dude who takes fans out to eat. Like he was the dude that was on his tour bus and like, yo, I'm in freaking Tennessee. Who's on a lunch break? Let's go get some food. I'm picking you up. Like, and this dude would literally on Twitter pick up fans and eat with them and take them home and vibe with them and pay for their Ubers and make them listen to new music. Like Cole was that guy. So I'm like, yo, there's no way this could fail. He doesn't have a show to be at. He's apparently early to the session. Like there's nothing that could possibly go wrong. I'm at peace. I get out the car. I have my KOD physical copy album for him to sell. I had it in my bag though. I look back and let me go ahead and explain what happened. So I literally approached him, not even approached him from a distance. I just hop out the car, smile on my face. I'm dressed appropriate, right? My vehicle was a nice, decent vehicle, right? I didn't look like I was on that type of trouble time. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't threatening. I didn't come out with my phone like, yo, it's J. Cole. Oh my gosh. Or yo, drop the Addy, whatever it is. Not stuff. Literally as an artist, human being to human being. I was like, yo, big bro. And I literally, And then he looked at me and he like kind of waved. And I got a story, funny little thing that me and the team joke about. I'll mention in a second. But I'm like, yo, big bro. And he looks at me, he kind of nods back. And I guess he thought, yo, oh, this dude's here for the session too. So, then I started introducing myself. And I was like, yo, big bro, my name's Nashbi, bro. I'm an artist, college student, bro, Georgia State. I'm an artist. I'm a big fan of your music for a long time. As I'm telling him all this, I couldn't even get any more words out because Buddy starts putting on his bag. He literally did this, Vaughan. He literally did this. I said, big bro. He kind of signaled me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then ran into the studio, bro. Like, just ran. Not ran, but jogged quickly. Jogged quickly to the studio. Like, just escaped. And I was just like, at that point, I was just like, I didn't move. I stood still. I'm like right here, and J. Cole's like literally like at a distance far enough to where I see him. He sees me. I didn't move. I didn't approach him on nothing funny. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
At that point, it's like, bro, I get it. Like, you're a celebrity and all these things, but I'm a human being. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it was like, you could have had, and you knew what type of time I was on too. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, homie just didn't acknowledge me. He just shunned me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there just confused and almost disrespected because at that point I wanted to just keep saying, but wait, Cole, but wait. But then something in me just got silent and was like, yo, what just happened? You know what I'm saying? Because he starts walking away and I was just like, and I even asked him, like, yo, like, bro, you good? Like, I think I said all those lines of just like, why are you running away while I'm talking to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a little bit weird. His security walks over to me. It's his famous security guard who be in all the documentaries, who's like certified different black belts. He walks up to me. He's like, hey, man, sorry, bro. It's a private session. You got to leave. I'm like, bro, I remember you from the sessions, man. It's nice to meet you. But, bro, what just happened? He was like, yo, honestly, I can't even tell you. I don't know what just happened just now, but I'm just telling you, bro, you can't be here. It's a private session. It's all love. Gotta go. I'm like, but dog, like what? I just kept saying, what? Like, what just transpired? Like, I was speechless and I was just shook. I was like, there's no way this just happened, right? And he just keeps telling me, yeah, bro. I'm like, yo, but I got the CD. I thought you could sign it for me. Sorry, man, I can't take it. Yo, I got my music on this drive. Hey, man, just email it. Anybody you want to reach at Dreamville, put their name at dreamville.com, whatever. I'm like, bro, dang, and it really just hurt me there. And I was trying to spark conversation with him, like, and he was just like, yo, gotta go, man. But yeah, bro, you gotta get off. He was real cool. He was vibing with me, but then he doing my job, you gotta go. I was like, dang. I got back in the car. I'm sitting there like hurt but upset. And at that moment, I'm not trying to take no for an answer because I'm trying to understand. And I know Boz is there. So then I'm like, yo, maybe I'll stick around and see if Boz or anybody else I noticed, is there, and I could try to get somebody to introduce me or let me in. Boz does come out, but when he comes out for like 5 seconds. I'm trying to muster my confidence again to even open the door and wave. You know what I'm saying? And before I could even muster my confidence, Boz goes back inside. And I'm just sitting in the car. I'm like, dang. At this point, it's almost 3 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock now. Cars are flooding in. So you could tell even the divine timing of everything. Because I just showed up in the middle of the day with no invite of timing or nothing. I just showed up and I just planned to stay there until I saw somebody. But I had no idea. I showed up right on time to meet Cole, who was there early. And then at 3 o'clock, cars just start flooding the parking lot. Mad people pulling up. Mad people were showing in. And I was just like, dang. And I'm blending in with the vehicles. His security comes back out. He's looking around and he's like, he starts pointing at my car. He's like, yo, that car needs to go. And I'm like, dang, you know what I'm saying? And at that point, I'm not trying to be on that type of time. I'm not trying to ruin nobody's event. I'm not trying to be that person who's overdoing the welcome. I got good artist etiquette. I was a fan, but I've networked with celebrities before. Like, I understand what's happening here. Like, it's cool. I'll just go. But man, I can't lie. That was probably one of the most overwhelming ride homes, I've ever had. And I call my girls like, baby, you still free tonight? Can we hang? She's like, baby, I already made other plans. So I got homework. I got school in the morning. I'm like, dang. Oh, I went back to the dorm, bro. I'll be honest, bro. I was distraught. I was low-key devastated, man. I was sitting there just like, what just happened? And I start reflecting on Cole. I was like, bro, Jay-Z literally did this to you. You waited outside for Jay-Z in the rain and then Jay-Z dissed you, and then you said F him. You said F Jay-Z, and then a year later, Jay-Z was,
Mm-hmm.
signed. That's what he said in interviews and in his music. And, I'm like, how did you let that happen again? You know what I'm saying? And how'd you
Mm-hmm.
do this time? And, and then obviously, let me clear up, Vaughan, I gotta say this, like, it's important for people to understand that there's no such thing as entitlement, like, for real. Like, these artists don't owe us anything. They're
Right.
human beings, their dads, their moms, their, brothers, sisters, sons, daughters. Like, they don't owe us nothing. Yes, we fund and help with buying tickets, buying merch,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, buying music, but that doesn't mean they owe us anything, right? Um, and so, but obviously, since that's the way of getting on was the discovery route, how else J. Cole, who has a label, who's the CEO of that label, it made sense for me to want to approach him as an artist
Mm-hmm.
and I at least expected to be treated like a human being, especially by an artist that I looked up to my
Right.
entire, music journey.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, that was devastating for me, man. That was challenging. That wasn't difficult to process. And so literally, that became the end of that story for that time being. And yeah, at that point, I was really like almost upset with Cole, just being
Mm-hmm.
honest. I was just like, man, like this was a tough pill to swallow that had just happened to me. I was like, yo, I start reflecting. I'm like, yo, look how Boosie treated me. At least Boosie acknowledged my presence as a human. You know what I'm saying? Cole, and everyone I told was just
Hey,
like, nah, Cole.
look, people be like, he did. He was like,
Not even, bro, I wish he did the peace sign. I wish that would at least
oh, at
acknowledge
least
me.
that would have been dope. But
At least the peace sign. Bro just gave me the I gotta go sign. He pointed like
mm,
and I was
right.
just like, bro, not a word you couldn't have uttered. Hello, goodbye. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
No time. Email me. Don't
Right.
talk to me. Hey man, sorry, bro. Cuss me out. Something. Speak to me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm human. Like that's how I felt in that moment, bro. So
Mm.
that was a story. And I know I've been long-winded telling that story
No, no,
for a
that
while.
was man.
Pause. But but that obviously led into Chosen, which I can kind of tell you, kind of mix that story of how the
Mm-hmm.
lyrics came about. But that's how that went.
Wow. Yeah, it's easy to become distraught when we see those that we look up to, and then we expect a certain type of reaction or involvement or acknowledgement from those individuals, and
Mm,
then when it doesn't happen, it's like, but wait a minute, Th- is this what happened to you?
mm,
And then you know how we were like little kids. I don't know if you have, but I know, like for me, as a little kid, I'm not gonna be like my dad. I'm not gonna be like my mom, right? And then Jay Z did it to Cole, and Cole did it to you. And it's kind of like, well, you just did the same thing that your hip hop father Jay
mm,
Z did to you, and it's
mm,
like, you know. So here's what I would say:
mm,
don't fret, don't fret over it. One, we don't know what was going through Cole's mind during that time. You know what I'm saying? So he could have been kind of busy, because I do remember from watching that whole documentary, he talked about being more in that CEO mindset, right? He said he had to remove himself as an artist and to really concentrate on being a CEO and making sure that people had what they needed, and that there were other people coming in. So okay, you good? We got this studio space. We got this. I remember him saying that. But for me to you, don't fret. That time will come again. And then when that time come again, you're gonna get the time that you need with him in order to do whatever it is that you need to do. It may be 6 months, it may be a year from now, but that time is going to come. Because what I love what you said is that you have your own artist etiquette. You have an artist etiquette. Most artists don't have an artist etiquette. They run up, they throw CDs in your face, they spam you on Instagram, and that's not artist etiquette. But you have that. And if Nashby keeps doing what Nashby is doing, then those doors will open up for those conversations to happen, those opportunities to take place, right? And so when something doesn't work out the way that we expect it to, or that we want it to, we leave ourselves open to say, okay, that didn't go the way that I planned, but there's going to be another opportunity down the line that will happen, and that may be the one that sparks whatever takes place. But yeah, I remember listening. I remember seeing that on Instagram. I remember hearing Chosen going, "Wow, yeah." I would feel distraught, right, about the whole situation. Um, it's so funny. I saw Boosie about a month ago, and I didn't approach Boosie. I knew it was him. And you know me, I am like, oh, there's a famous person. Okay, cool. What's good? All right. I'm friends with a famous person. I had DJ Tune. Well, I don't know if I had to say his name over here, but I had a I had a famous DJ over a producer over at my house. We spent for like 9 hours over here just chit chat and eating and shooting the breeze and doing all types of stuff, right? But those times will come, and that time will is gonna come. It may not have been at that moment. That may not have been the time, the designated appointed time, but that there will be a point in time when that opportunity will present itself again. So,
man, I received that prophetically, bro. I do, and it's like, and I got love for Cole. Like I said on the record, no beef, no nothing. Obviously, in the moment, it was devastating, but like, man, I got over that real quick, and even thought about, like you said, there's so many things that could have been on Buddy's heart and mind, and I know one day we will connect on the right terms, and it will be love, It's just so funny, like, couple of jokes from all of this, right? One of the things, if you notice, in Middle Child, when he's like, what he said, like, I'm little bro and big bro all at
big
once.
at the same time. Yep.
Right. I'm about to go and be jiggle for lunch. So he talks about being like little bro, big bro at the same time. And I was like, yo, he probably wrote Middle Child the day I was like, yo, big bro. I probably say, yo, big bro, and he just registered in his head. He's like, yo, I'm big bro, but I'm also little bro. I just left Jay-Z. Now I'm about to go. Just all jokes, just like, yo, like, man, I need my credit on Middle Child. I'm just teasing.
Right. I need my Middle Child credit. Man, Nashbi, man, we've been talking for some time, man. We still didn't even get to talk about the EP, what's coming up in the future for Nashbi. I love when we get together. We just have these conversations. We got to do it more often. There's some things I want to plan out, but it's having conversation like this as often as possible. So we got to make sure that we stay in contact, we stay in touch, because I know that you're doing some amazing things, and your time gets real busy, right? And so, man, like, we over hour and 13, but like, I want to keep going. I still want to talk. I still got to find out some more stuff.
Yeah. But any questions you got, we could try to shoot maybe 10 seconds.
Yeah. Sure. Yep. Yeah. So talk about the Chosen brand. I want to make sure we plug that.
No, yeah, for sure. So it's something in development. It's not fully. We started selling merch. Thank God. We introduced the merch at the recent concert that I did, and we sold out that night. And that was just t-shirts. I had my hoodie on that night. Everybody wanted a hoodie. So, we're about to launch the store soon. I got some good peers of mine who are pretty awesome influencers, low class or underground celebrities, you could say, just coming up, who are going to model for me. And, we're going to launch the Chosen brand because, Chosen. Because one thing I just want to say for any independent artist watching this today, 30 years from now, understand that it's God who gives, God who approves. One thing I think God taught me from this whole Chosen experience, Chosen in itself, I discussed the issue or the circumstance with Cole and versus, contrasting it with Russ and with Big Sean and with Lil Nas and all the other individuals I have met. I talk about in the song, even DJ Khaled. But the truth is, like, even though, thank God that Russ and Big Sean showed me love, but even if they didn't, it's not man who gets to validate and says, yeah, you're called. Yes, you're anointed. Yes, you're chosen for what you're doing. That's God. God is the one who chooses you. God is the one who validates you. And he's the one that gives success. The Bible says the blessing of the Lord makes one rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. No sorrow at all. And so God, it's God who blesses one to be rich. And I think that wealth is not only monetary, but it's rich in life, rich in self and heart and etc. And so that's what Chosen, the brand, is all about. It's like, yo, I'm chosen by God. If I'm alive, if I'm breathing, if I'm on planet Earth, I'm not dead. There's so many people who don't get to see today. If I'm still here breathing, it's because I'm here for a purpose. There's still work for me to be doing. That's what Chosen is all about. That's what the song is all about. You know, it's love for everybody, but you can't put human beings. That's another thing. You can't keep putting human beings on a pedestal. You can't put human beings in the place of God. You just can't. Human beings will always be human, no matter how rich, healthy, wealthy, successful, no matter what they're driving, no matter what they got going on. They're always going to be just human beings, and there will always be a God above. So that's what that's about.
Mm. Man, I'm not even going to ask you what advice you have because that's the advice. Man, that's awesome, brother. Yes. Yeah. Oh, man. See, that's why I love Nashville, y'all. Like, y'all don't understand. Ah, man. There's not many people. There's not many people like Nashville. And that is what I respect. And that is what I cherish. There's not many people like Nashville. Not in this music industry. No. Man. Nashville, thank you, man. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for the music that you make. Like I said, I'm a fan of yours. I am 100% believer in Nashville and what you do, hands down. So, but yeah, man. So what's next for Nashville?
Thanks, B. Vaughan. Praise God, bro. But I appreciate it sincerely. Yeah, I mean, what's next is getting the merch store up. I'm trying to get put together a bookings team this summer to try to get us as many bookings as possible. I've been getting booked for a lot of different events to rap, to host, but I'm trying to get more of those to try to really transform my music into a functioning business. Where obviously we're selling merch to give people an opportunity to support the brand, but also doing shows, doing more events. I was getting booked with 500 monthly listeners. So now with 35,000, 36,000, obviously we're praying that we are able to get a lot more bookings. And, if even for the same price, or even, we plan on doing a somewhat of a tour, a miniature tour this summer, and just leading ongoing into the fall and etc. So that's the biggest things that are up next for me. There is an album on the way. There's an album I'm working on. I said it first right here. We create music.
Mm.
I'm working on it. I have the title and everything. There's 2 projects I'm working on right now. And so we're just trying to get that together. That project, I ain't gonna lie to you, B. Vaughn. I think it's gonna change my life, but I just
Mm.
don't. I think Chosen unlocked this atmosphere of change in my life already and has just been making a lot of buzz. But this project I think is going to do some wonders, and so I'm being very intentional about it. I got some bold requests, in terms of features and different artists that I'll be collaborating with, so it's going to be a very, very solid piece of work. So that's what I've been working hard to finish, is that project. And then there's another project that's going to follow that I'm working on as well. And then we're just going to try to put as much singles. You can expect another record before the end of this month again, God willing.
Mm.
And that one is mean, man. You'll love it. It's very
Mm.
mean. And it's hard. It's gonna be dope. I know you guys will love it. I'll drop the name. It's called Liberation. It's coming out. And it's different. It's different, but it's raw. So that's what's coming next for the boy.
Hey, Liberation, man. I can't wait. I already know it's gonna be great. I already know it's gonna be fire. So I can't wait to hear it. I already know it's gonna be fantastic. So, but the last thing, Nashby, tell people how they can connect with you.
Yeah, so you can find your boy right there on the screen. You see it, Nashbi Official. You can find me at nashbiofficial.com. You can get me on Nashbi Official on Instagram, Nashbi Official on Twitter. I deleted Twitter, but sometimes I periodically still check in. So if you follow the kid, you'll probably get something from me one day. But in all honesty, get me on Instagram. My email I'll share publicly, partnerships at nashbiofficial.com. You can send me feature requests there, questions, just fan love and letters. You can send requests, booking requests, whatever it is. I got you. I check that email. So does my assistant. We look at it often. We both have access to it, though we're trying to grow the team. So yeah, that's where y'all can find me. Shout out to B Vaughan, man. We create music TV, just presenting the best platform. There's been some legends on this show. There's been some up and coming on this show. So obviously B Vaughan is a man of the people, not above but equal, right? Shout out to
Mm.
Cole again. Shout out Cole this whole time. But yeah, man, shout out to B Vaughan, and thank you for all the work that you're doing for the community, for the Atlanta music community, for the Atlanta Music Business Society, for the Grammys, for literally, up and coming artists like myself. You were riding with me when I had 50 monthly listeners. I think that's when we did our first interview. It was probably like 100, 200 monthly listeners. Now we're at 36,000. There's been growth there. The love is still the same. And I appreciate you for being there for the boy.
Man, I appreciate you too, brother. Appreciate you too. So, man, if you wouldn't mind sticking around for just a moment while I close this out.
For sure.
All right. Man, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man. I'm telling you. I want y'all to know that this is the guy right here. Nashbi is the guy. Like, when a couple years, when you look back, you're going to be like, yep, B. Vaughan said it. I'm telling you. But man, oh gosh, I hope y'all enjoyed the interview. Please make sure you support Nashbi. Go check out his music. Become a listener on Spotify, right? Partake in the merchandise that he has. Go to shows if you're here in the Atlanta area. But just be a supporter of Nashbi, and of course, be a supporter of We Create Music TV. You can always catch us here every Monday and every Thursday for our interview series when we have them scheduled, right? And so it's not every Monday and every Thursday, but it's only when we have guests who's like, hey, can I come onto the show? Sure. And if you are an artist, music creative, and you want to be on our show, go right to our website, wecreatemusic.tv, click on schedule your interview, fill out the form, and you could be somebody on the show as well. But thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to hit the notification bell to be notified when we drop content. Make sure to like this video, and we will catch you next time. Peace.